of hopelessness and helplessness. The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America. No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating us citizens as less than human. God damn America as long as she tries to act like she is God and she is supreme.
Very limiting in your career.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this headliner gigs.
My name is my name's Headliner. Well, nice to meet you, Chet.
Oh, get over here.
Oh,
Is he penning again? Oh, penner.
oh,
Oh man.
oh, that was nice. That
What?
was
Yeah.
good.
Yo, he's got that. Oh, got that hoe though.
Got the
Host. You know.
Yeah. Why did I name myself Bombed Fired? I'm an idiot. For real though, there's a comedian named Hugh Moore.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Somebody told me about this a while back. There's like a road guy who clearly changed his name to Humor.
Of course, he was a road guy.
Did he change his name, or he was? That was his destiny.
Was he of Clanmore?
I don't know which one's worse.
Of the Connecticut Moors? You don't fuck with that?
Either he changed his name or he was born with that name and then decided to pick his job based on his name.
Yeah, well he used to make baby coffins, but then he was like, I can't do this. I have to.
I can do more.
Yeah. The inspiring story
of Hugh Moore. The Adventures of Hugh Moore.
And you know what? Hugh can do more too. And it's just he's speaking in a high school auditorium.
Yeah. Now subscribe to my Patreon for all my updates.
All right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Pod Damn America. March 13th, 2018. The return of Carlos Delgado.
Oh shit! The kid is back.
Yeah, welcome back, baby.
Thank you so much.
We got Anders Lee here.
Anders Lee here.
Changing
to Chet Spot pretty soon. That's gonna be
change it into Chet Spot.
Chet Spot.
Carlos, welcome back, baby.
Thanks, man. Good to be back.
Tell us about your your odyssey to LA.
Listen, man. First and foremostly, shout out to all the Pod Damn America fans out there. You damn heads. You guys have been tweeting. You guys have been sharing and stuff, and it makes me happy that you guys are listening. So we're gonna keep doing this for you. What was I doing in LA? Getting my shit together, man. I was not in a good place. I hit an emotional rock bottom. I was about to quit stand-up and start becoming a DJ. I swear to Christ, I downloaded the Deadmau5 Masterclass, illegally pirated, started learning how to produce EDM music. I was like, here's the thing I realized, when you're from New Jersey, that's your emergency kit. When you grew up in New Jersey, there's a glass case with a turntable, and it says break in case of emotional emergency. And I smashed that shit open. I texted my friend Anna. Shout out to Anna Valenzuela, funny comic in LA. Yeah. And I texted her. I was like, I think I'm gonna move to Louisville, Kentucky, and become a DJ. And she said, I'll be right there. If you have a friend who texts you, I'm thinking about becoming a DJ, go to them.
Okay, wait. Why Louisville?
Oh, because I've been there before. I have friends there, and there's like a little music scene, and I just felt like,
you can mix it up.
I can mix it up there. Also,
really
I like horses.
When you said you downloaded the Deadmau5 Masterclass, I always get these ads in my Facebook feed for like the writers Masterclasses. I was just imagining you accidentally downloaded the Aaron Sorkin Masterclass, and then you show up to DJ, and it's just all walk and talks and talking down to women from a condescending male point of view and shit.
Don't tell me you know about policy, Angela. I am the policy.
With like one headphone on.
Forget, I am the policy.
Yeah. That fucking rule. It was like when The Simpsons, when Homer has like audio tapes while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
I would love to hear Kanye take the West Wing theme song though and do some shit with that.
You know what? If anybody can,
right. It's a corny. All his music, corny. All those shows, corny ass theme songs.
Yeah,
but they're epic. You know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they get the heart flowing for a 60-minute procedural about the West Wing of the White House. Yeah, so I did that. I got so I was there, but then I came back from that. Your boy is recovering codependent, but I'm setting those strong boundaries, baby, and I'm also just doing my life now, dog, living my life the right way. So what does that mean? Means I still smoke tons of weed, but now I know how to focus my energy.
I love it.
Thank
California sober, man. I have so many friends.
California sober, that's me.
I get it.
Yep, that's me. I don't like the booze much anymore, but that's okay, because I still smoke that weed.
Yeah, I feel you. I would do that, but weed makes me like have panic attacks and get really paranoid and shit. I'm so jealous because I get California sober because booze is like fucks you up.
Yeah.
Disgusting and dirty.
Dog, I was eating pills and booze every day like last year. Like I don't remember a lot, didn't feel a lot. Like it's not great.
Did you move out there to write a Bukowski book or some shit?
Oh no, this was here when I was living here.
Oh.
Yeah, that was like because I was like all fucked up during the summer. So part of the reason why I moved to California was because I just didn't want to do that anymore. I was like, let me just go to LA.
Yeah.
I can buy edibles every day and not be like a piece of shit. You know,
beach.
Yeah, with the beach and shit.
Yeah.
But
Do you miss the weather?
Dog, it was cold out there the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like in the 50s, but yeah, it's cold.
Okay.
It's cold.
Yeah.
It's mountain cold. It's desert cold. It gets cold.
Right,
at
it
night.
gets cold at night.
It goes
That's
cold
right.
at night.
Oh yeah.
It's fine. People talk shit about LA. You can talk shit about any city you're at. I was there for a very specific reason, but I miss Glendale. I miss the Armenian community. Shout out to the Armenians. You guys are dope people. Fuck Turkey.
For sure.
100%. Come at me.
yeah.
Come at me on Twitter. At
No,
Anders Lee.
we were talking about we were talking about the badness of Turkey. About
Yeah,
how
yeah.
they
Oh,
are,
yeah?
Yeah, the whoa was like a response to like, whoa, we were talking about the Rojava situation. Now Turkey uses ISIS.
Turkey's like the main backer of ISIS. I'm gonna do probably an episode series on Rojava at some point once I get my notes together. But Turkey's not good.
They're not good, man.
Yeah.
And it's dry a lot of the time and makes you sleepy.
It does make you sleepy.
And
Your skin?
can't fry it in the same way
Nah, man.
as other birds.
You
Yeah.
can't.
There's a reason we only eat it once a year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like pumpkin spice. It's not actually good. You don't actually like it.
Nobody
Right.
does.
It's just seasonal.
Me a turkey latte though. I'd drink that.
With
Yeah.
like some mashed potato whipped cream. Oh, bitch! Don't get me horny.
Well, it's good to have you back, Carlos.
Thanks, dog. It's good to be back.
Yeah. Before I get into anything else, I just want to touch on something that's happening in my home place right now.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about that.
So South by Southwest is happening in Austin, Texas, and incidentally, right around the same time, there are all these reports of these bombs, like Ted Kaczynski-style bombs, that are not being mailed; they're being left on people's doorsteps in East Austin. And the thing you got to understand about Austin is that, like, Austin is, seen by a lot of people as this, like,
Liberal haven.
yeah, but in reality, the most like kind of progressive places in Texas, I think, are the bigger cities, whereas Austin's kind of a college town. So Austin's very segregated still. It's like, liberal in the way that it's like, we think gay people should be able to get married, and we have a lot of culture and stuff, but like the city itself, just institutionally, is still like split down the middle. It was for a long time when I lived there, and then like gentrification sort of started happening where people started moving out east or whatever. And but like the East Austin is like a black and Latino neighborhood.
It's like Canarsie.
So someone like killed 2 people and injured another person, and the police like put it together that these things are probably related, because whatever, same bomb style or whatever. And so it's kind of crazy because somebody pointed out today online, somebody I'm friends with on from Austin on Facebook or whatever, is like, if this was happening in like West Austin, which is like the real rich part of town, the police wouldn't be like, oh, it's safe for you guys to keep partying at South by, have a good time. Like, it would be like a huge fucking story,
Yeah.
So things are really dark down there still. But another thing that came forward is that the bombs didn't actually go off. It turns out that someone was trying to charge the Samsung Galaxy S Note. This is a Dan Ninen joke. If you
Oh, you motherfucker! You got me.
It's not my joke. All right,
You
so
got me.
so-
I was like, wait, what are you saying, Jake? You're a monster.
Okay, so background on this fucking joke, because I know a lot of people listen to like Come Town and shit, but if you don't know what the fuck I was just saying, so there's this comedian named Dan Ninen who's like an idiot. He's just a professional moron, and like we used to all just make fun of him in comedian circles and stuff because he's like a bad comedian and he's like a bully. Like he just like
well, he's a 50-year-old millennial.
yeah, he keeps
He has a mental issue. I don't know what it is, but he needs help.
I think crazy is the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just be this ding dong that was like kind of hell bent on like convincing people he was rich, like one of those people, you know.
Yeah.
And so like he does stuff like to bully other comedians around. Like for example, the reason my fucking anagram like handle online is Feral Jokes because it's an anagram for my name. I had to come up with that because I had a website that was just Jake Flores. And someone bought it and then tried to sell it back to me for $800.
Damn.
Right? And I think it was fucking Dan Ninen because I found out later on that he does that, and I just didn't recognize his voice over the phone. But I think he does that shit, right? So he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But he's this opportunistic guy, and he earlier this year, or no, I'm sorry, last year, like tried to get into the Trump world to be like their comedian because like Trump got elected, and he's like,
did he?
Yeah, so he would do shit like when the inauguration happened. So there's an inaugural ball, right? And like, you know, whatever, like Three Doors Down played it, and like two other fucking.
Did he say he was the opener for the ball and try to sneak in?
He advertised himself as performing at the inaugural ball, but he didn't actually. Technically, much like South by Southwest, there's an official show, and apparently around DC there's just a bunch of unofficial inauguration
there
balls.
Yeah.
And so he was just part of one of those, but he conned these people are all con artists, so he conned his way into their circle so hard that like last year during some weird private event like party thing,
it was like an eyes wide shut orgy.
yeah, he fucking basically
showed up and tried to open for the orgy.
yeah, the big character in Eyes Wide Shut that Tom Cruise plays is based on
too
Dan
many
Ninen.
pheromones. People are too horny now.
yeah.
Dicks are breaking windows.
He showed up wearing a gold mask, and somebody slammed the floor with a fucking huge cane.
It says real gold on the mask.
Yeah. The piano was just playing silently.
What a piece of shit.
So he managed to get himself booked on a show where the lineup was like a speaking show with like Joe Arpaio and
shit.
a bunch of other weird like Trumpy people like that. And so he was emceeing this show in like there's a video of it because someone in the audience whipped out their cell phone and was like, oh, this is gonna be hilarious.
Gold. Yeah.
And it's like a hell gig in like a hotel lobby or whatever, and he's opening, and he's like made this Faustian deal where he's like sold his soul to the point where he's opening for Joe Arpaio just for status points, so he can, I don't know what's going on in his head, like for him this means his success or whatever, and he fucking bombs so hard. But the thing he opens with is and this is, mind you, like years after this happened, but he references like that bomb that went off in Chelsea. Oh, there was a bomb that went off in Chelsea, New York. But it turns out it was just someone trying to charge the Samsung Galaxy S, which is like also a dated reference. Like those phones were exploding like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But it bombs.
Oh, I didn't get the joke until you just
Oh,
said
yeah,
it.
no, yeah. Yeah, you're not. I think you're still not allowed to fly with those.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts of this joke. He wrote
That's
like, one
less
of
funny now that I get it.
those, yeah.
Like, I was like, it's just an old phone, and it is. But that was actually a problem. Okay, it's not creative.
It's not creative at all.
There's this great clip. I'll put it in here. I'll put a marker in. I'll put in a clip of him fucking bombing opening for Joe Arpaio where he's like, someone was trying to charge the Samsung Galaxy S, and then no one laughs, and he's just like, all right, good crowd so far. He just fucking sucks. Anyway, so that shit's hilarious, and I'm very sad that there's a bombing going on in my old neighborhood, but I had to wait a little while do the joke.
Before whipping that baby out. I respect your restraint, Jake. I think that's one. They call him all Jake Restraint Flores. Do you know that?
Is that where the feral jokes is an anagram?
That's an anagram for.
Did you know Tim Kaine is an anagram for I am tanky? I'm not joking.
Really? Does he play D&D? That'd be dope. We always need a warrior in our crew.
Oh yeah.
You need a tank.
Maybe it's just because he's he takes a lot of damage and and you need a healer and probably
he's a strain on the economy.
And he drinks like a tank,
like a dwarf.
He really fucking pounds him.
Tankies are far leftists who think that Stalin did nothing wrong and North Korea is great.
He's the Soviet tank.
Yeah. He's not. He's a dickhead. But his son's cool. Yeah.
His son's in Antifa.
Yeah.
In Antifa. Official member.
He's an official member of Antifa?
Yeah, Antifa. He got Dan Nyan to come and open for Antifa. He's connected.
He left his Ted Y talk? Is that what happened?
Yeah, what happened with his son recently?
Didn't he get arrested at J20?
Yeah,
That's what I heard.
He did. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Which must be, I wonder what their relationship is like. We'll have to investigate.
Yeah.
I don't know. We talked about Bernie Sanders' crazy son last week. And
is he right wing? Is this like a whole I won't be like
Bernie?
you, Dad?
No,
Bernie's son.
It's like Bernie, but he's
a Bernie
without
bro.
the
he's a Bernie bro.
little charm that exists. Just totally. I mean, he has a Facebook.
Yeah.
And so people have been looking at the Facebook, and he just lectures people about it.
He's an insane meltdown Facebook argument guy.
Oh, okay.
I used
to date
in real life. Who knows? Probably not.
Shit. Okay. So hold on. What about who's the person before Tim Kaine? He has a kid, Antifa, right? Is that what we said? Bernie Sanders' kid.
Yeah.
Non-charismatic at all.
Right.
Oh, this is what about the Kennedy kid? How do we feel about the Kennedy kid?
The redhead?
That guy fucking sucks.
He sucks? Okay.
Yeah.
But he's kid charisma, though. That's why everybody's losing their shit over this kid.
Yeah, that's a problem,
I
though.
think he has the, he's been told since he was a child that he has charisma.
Oh, he's groomed.
So he has, but I don't even know if maybe he took a public speaking course or something. I don't know.
What's his stance?
Let me read you a quote.
He's a vague, the most vague. He's just a liberal.
Kennedy.
He's absolutely the thing that we don't need, which is liberal royalty.
Neoliberal.
He's from a fucking dynasty, and he's a guy in a blue shirt that loves the cops, and all these things that the country is now.
We're just dude,
making
come on.
it pretty fucking clear that we we're not down for this shit.
Don't be tone deaf, yeah.
These people are the establishment, and so they.
Isn't it funny?
They're gonna fight it no matter what by trying to change the narrative of them to these are the people that represent us or whatever.
It's like we all evolved to start fighting the liquid Terminator, but they keep putting out the old metal Terminators.
Right.
We were like, dog, come upgrade. I mean, at least try.
Yeah.
Rip off the skin. Look at you. You're not even liquid.
There is something weird about. We were talking a little bit about this on a couple episodes ago about the Kennedys and old Irish American people.
Yeah.
Who, if you ever want to see something turn from red to blue, to tell an old Irish person something shitty about the Kennedys, and they will get their face, the color will just flush.
Yeah.
My mom is 100% Irish, and she
get out.
Yeah,
you're the orangest person I've ever seen.
But she will
always
always say one of the Kennedys is an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah,
and she always points to that. It's well, but there's a you'll say all this data and information. You'll be but a Kennedy said that vaccines are bad. So.
And
Kennedy.
So let me read
not
you.
Grey Gardens, a real Kennedy.
Let me read you a quote from Joe Kennedy III.
A Kennedy.
Joe Kennedy III, this is a headline, Joe Kennedy III explains why he's one of the few Democrats not so hot about pot. Mind you, this is a person we're pushing in 2018 to be part of the fucking Democratic Party, right?
There's people on the right flipping for pot. Come on, dude. What are you doing?
My views do not exactly line up with my own state, and it's something that I'm struggling with. In his interview with Klein, the congressman cited some of the unintended consequences of decriminalizing and legalizing the drug, recalling his days working as a state prosecutor. Get fucked when Massachusetts voted in 2008 to decriminalize marijuana. Kennedy said that the decision affected the ability of police officers to search and seize illegal items, such as guns from vehicles. Quote, if you smelled marijuana at a car, you could search a car. Yeah, none of us fucking want that. That's like the thing that we're all fighting against. When it became decriminalized, Kennedy said you couldn't do that, right? So, like, that's his deal with weed. Is that
that's the same. That's the same logic as racial profiling.
Yeah,
It's stop and frisk.
it's all that shit, and like people have made it so fucking clear that they don't like it, right? But like, why would a rich, out of touch son of fucking, U.S. royalty feel this way? Well, duh, like he's out of touch, right? So like that's
The last paper he read was written by William Randolph Hearst.
nice.
Thank you. Can I bring something up, though?
Yeah,
Philadelphia DA,
Yeah, Krasner.
right?
hell yeah.
Motherfucker, my man right there.
Yeah, that guy
right?
fucking rules.
Right.
Shout out.
Right, shout out
Fan
to
of
you.
the show. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Possible future fan of the show. We're seeing what we can do.
Possible future Patreon subscriber to the show.
Hey, we're gonna get him and Ninen on in the same episode.
Oh, can we?
We're gonna have it out, Joe
Can
Rogan
we?
style, once and for all.
Let me go to my Rolodex real quick. Is that what happens when you win the Super Bowl? You just become a beacon of liberal hope. You think like he like woke up one day. He's like, "Oh, we won. All right, let me get rid of bail. Let me get rid of my.
Well,
low
I would argue
drug
that he's
charges."
been training longer than this season's Philadelphia Eagles.
But do we know where
And
his
no one
loyalties
ate
lie?
horse shit when he got elected,
That's true.
except for me. I was very excited. So, on the same topic of prosecutors.
Oh yeah.
So another thing happened this week that really kind of bummed everyone out. That's going to be forgotten real soon. But there's this sort of like rising star of the Democratic Party that everyone's sort of trying to push as like,
Who's that, Jake?
Kamala Harris, baby.
Oh, hello,
And,
hello.
Kamala Harris is like, people fucking don't talk about this enough, which is really weird because it's her job and it's the reason she got to where she is. She's a fucking prosecutor. She was top cop, right?
Yeah.
And so she came out
Officer of the court.
on, I'm going to play it off my phone here on MSNBC, and had this shit to say about ICE.
Should ICE exist? Well, certainly, when we're talking about people who have committed serious and violent crimes, Chris, you know my background. I'm a prosecutor. I believe that there needs to be serious, severe, and swift consequence when people commit serious and violent crimes. One human being kills another human being, a woman is raped, a child is molested, there needs to be serious consequence. And certainly, if they are undocumented, they should be deported if they commit those serious and violent offenses. So yes, ICE has a purpose. ICE has a role. ICE should exist.
Yeah, so fuck her, right?
Yeah, 100%. I'm very angry right now.
We're like 3 years away from this election, and people are still like, you're being too, purity politics or whatever. You're being too hard on these people. This fuck's person is pro-ICE.
She's pro-Gestapo.
Oh,
dog.
ICE
She's
is the fucking
It's like
Gestapo.
now
Black vans.
is the time to talk about these. Like, if this person's going to be running for president, if she runs, then it's still going to be legit too. But like, why wait to talk about it? And they basically don't want people to say anything negative about these people.
Yeah.
Like that's somehow undermining the project of getting Trump out of office by pointing out something shitty that a liberal politician does.
Yeah, and meanwhile, like when you're in the process of like, democratic representation and like primarying people and shit like that, like this is exactly the time when you should be expressing to this person like, hey, we don't fucking like this, and if you want to represent us, like, you need to change your tune, not we need to change. Fuck her.
And like the thing is, like, Los Angeles as a whole is a sanctuary city, so they thankfully don't see ICE coming in like that. But it's all of the smaller municipalities and all of the offshoot cities where, dude, just black vans are raiding factories, are raiding, areas where there are immigrant communities, fucking scooping people up, and it's just not. It's not human right. It's like not right for humans.
Right.
Dude,
And it's also, and the point she's making is that we need ICE.
No, we don't.
Which
we didn't have
we
it
don't.
before.
Yeah, right. And it's
Right?
like, we don't need it. Like, this is like, I'm not going to disagree with the point that, people who do these terrible things that she mentioned should be held accountable, but you don't need an entire agency to do that, just like you don't need a Department of Homeland Security. That doesn't mean you can't care about Homeland Security and have that dealt with in some way, but we already have structures
we
in
have
place
a
for
legal
that stuff.
system.
We're just adding more bureaucracy to this shit.
bureaucracy, but a force, like an
Yeah.
actual fist that will go out and actually scoop up what is a mainly invisible community.
Right.
We're mainly invisible to to the mainstream.
Yeah, and like a large portion of the population right now is getting on board with like police abolition as a movement, like moving that hard in that direction,
or at least de-escalation or
Right.
demilitarization of the
or
police.
reform in some sense.
Yeah.
Like if you have a fucking person that's there's a zero line here and you're moving in one direction or the other, like if the person is not just at the bare minimum on like the reform side, that's fucking bad news, and it shows you everything that everyone was mad about when this person became a prospect to begin with.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is back then they said, oh, it's misogyny or whatever, it's because she's a woman. It's like, well, the critique coming from the left was she's a prosecutor, she was top cop, and now it's sort of like proved the point of like, this is why people were getting upset about this, to begin with. And I'm worried that story's gonna get lost in the shuffle because, like, if I was a gambling man, I'd think she might be our next president.
Yeah,
You
and I
think
want to
so?
say
Yeah.
like, and maybe to her credit, there were some things in California that she did that were like for the time actually cool. She was saying there are situations where it makes sense to rehabilitate people instead of locking them in jail. And like, maybe she does become president and does some good stuff, but it's not going to be because of her. It's going to be because people are involved and holding her accountable for shit. I'm just worried that we're going to have 2016 all over again, that we're not, like, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe if it's a crowded field and there's like the Joe Bidens of the world are running for president too. Yeah. But if it's just her and Bernie, then that's just going to be nauseating.
The other thing that she did this week that kind of bothered me is that she at one point came out in support of like Medicare for all. She like signed on to the bill or whatever, or endorsed it or whatever. Excuse me. But she she did this thing that Natalie Scher points out a lot, and a lot of like wonky leftists I know have sort of like tuned into, where there's this coded language where you can tell a lot of these people are not interested in actually signing on and pushing for Medicare for all when they use the term access to health care. They specifically need to use the language of like healthcare is a right or whatever, because the term access to healthcare has been kind of proven to be like vague enough for politicians to use in a lot of ways to where they can hide the fact that what they are actually signing on to is like this crazy shit that the Pod Save America guys are pushing, which is like,
I firmly believe every American should be able to walk into a Rite Aid and buy a Band-Aid. That should be universal.
Is that?
Well, it's a vague enough statement where it doesn't mean anything. It means that they're not interested in unprivatizing
In this country,
healthcare.
if you walk into a doctor's office, you can put your name on the list. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a fucking non-statement, right? And it's weird because she already, I feel like she went out for Medicare for all because it was maybe an experiment to see if she could get a lot of support from leftists, because it's a real movement
It's
that's
a real movement.
putting the screws to a lot of these politicians. And I think she thought maybe she should just win those voters over and then go all the way back over to saying access to healthcare and getting other people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And she's going to keep doing that. And to some extent, as we talked about before, Bernie will do that too. Politicians are always going to move the way you don't, and you have, and that's why we got to get over the individual adoration thing.
Right. We throw it out. We get a king. That's what we get. Throw it all out. We get a fucking king again. He's the king of America. He walks around with a scepter. You know what I'm saying? He's got a Pope mobile, so nobody shoots him. And he married his wife. All the Kardashians. That's his wife. All the Kardashians is this man's wife.
Who do you think who would win that if we had
Dan
it all?
Ninen?
Yeah. I'd see that.
I could see that.
He's like a Trumpian success story of if you just believe enough in the gross
He is
parts of
very
capitalism.
much a Trumpian. If you cheat enough
If
and
you
just rip people
if you
off
take
and
the
are
book,
dishonest.
if you take the book The Secret and put it into that weird science machine, and then it spits out a human, it's Dan Nine.
Yeah.
I think it just spits out a comedian who's given up after moving to LA and getting really into metaphysics and shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those guys.
There's
Yeah.
There's a lot of those guys.
I'm going to
That's-
speak in really vague terms, but there's a lot of
There's
like,
a couple of guys tweeting at you right now. Just be like, what the fuck, bro? The univerce is infinite.
oh,
Like,
it's
all
just a
right.
tight. They're
All
fine.
right, good punchline, bro. All right, fucking relax.
What?
I like a lot of those guys, but that's a fucking. I see what you're doing.
I see what you're doing, hey, dude. Exactly. I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, you can fucking bust my balls for being a political comic, you know.
Yeah.
What do you use? What are you doing over here, Flores? You know.
You making any money?
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm standing in front of a plane.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this selfie. It's not mine, but I stand near planes now. That's how much money I make.
Oh, I love comedians. They're the
Yeah, they really
most
make.
fucked up people in the world.
They are.
Why is Dan Nine? Why is he a comedian? Why isn't he an actor?
That's
what always puzzled me about.
That's
it.
the funniest shit about those guys that
Yeah.
apply like weird like business shit to comedy is that like if you really believed that you're like reading these books and that you're this like business genius, then you wouldn't be an artist to begin with. You would be in business.
Yeah.
You could probably make a lot of money if you're that Machiavellian about shit, but
Yeah.
like they have to couch it in this concept of like being a comedian, which is you're not making one of those things better. You're making both of them worse, kind
Yeah.
of. Like, just be a broke ass comic that loves what you do, or be a businessman and make tons of money. But like, don't neuter comedy and make like fucking barely any money just by applying all of the secret to it or whatever. Yeah, those are like truly tragic people. I mean, there's so many of them.
I've learned healthy detachment recently while I'm working on it, and I observe, I don't absorb. That is my motto. And
I like that.
Thank you so much, Dan Ninen. Honestly, dog, you are living your life. I hope you find what you're looking for, but I'm gonna laugh at you the whole time. That's the only thing I can say about him, dog. Now, that's me being serious. On the unserious tip, what a queebo. I hate this guy so much.
Nice.
That's all I got.
Quebo. Is
Yeah.
that like a
I don't know. It's just
like
a
a
word.
Chipotle knockoff in L.A. or something?
Yes, it is.
Quebo.
Only in the Los Feliz
We're
area.
gonna taco bowl from Quebo.
Oh, extra beans?
Guys,
Ooh, double beans.
a helicopter crashed in the East River yesterday.
Did it?
But it turns out it was just someone trying to charge the Samsung Galaxy S Note. Is it Note S? What was it? It was like a tablet or some shit.
Note 8.
That really happened though. Somebody pointed me out. There's like a crime app you can get in New York that just
Yeah.
like tunes you into like all the shit's going down in the neighborhoods.
Like crimes that have happened. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty fun. One of my friends I was working with the other day just like fucking he was looking at it. He was, oh my god, there's a fire in my own building.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it turned out to be all right. But that same week, I don't know, a few weeks later, I was delivering pizzas and I passed this building that was on fire. Later on, I saw Shuja Hader, leftist journalist,
Yeah.
on Twitter, fucking tweeting about how his apartment burned down. That was his apartment.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Foul play?
Yeah. No,
Oh.
I don't think so. Who knows? I don't know.
Hair curler left plug-in?
I mean, who hates like the the journalistic left that much? If it was foul play, it was
It was
done by
Vox.
like yeah, it was like a Sadie Doyle
Yeah.
fucking hit job or something.
Yeah. the Atlantic took him out.
Yeah, Jen Kirkman set it on fire with her mind.
Oh, she's a pyromancer? I didn't know that shit. That's dope.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Jen Kirkman. Fire Lord forever.
Um,
So the helicopter went down.
I was just fucking around. I was just leading into that joke. What else? What else happened this week? Rex Tillerson.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Twitter today. I got real sad, so I closed Twitter.
You got sad?
Yeah, because I honestly try not to read the news a lot. I only go for things that I need to know, right?
Oh, so just the fact that it was new. You didn't have like a soft spot for Rex or anything.
Well, that's my father, you know.
Oh,
It's my biological godfather. Shout out to you, Papa.
You don't know
So-
who your father is.
Nah, I don't. He's,
You picked Rex Tillerson.
I knew my father, but I didn't
You
know
are
my
fucked up.
father. So he's out, right? Didn't he go on record saying Trump's a fucking idiot or some shit like that?
Yeah, like
he didn't,
7
he
months
didn't go
ago.
on record, but yeah, he basically
off
said,
record.
Yeah, off record, and he didn't deny it.
He didn't deny.
He
it.
didn't deny
On-
saying it.
Off record. Trump's a fucking idiot. On record, didn't deny it.
Yeah.
That's my man right there.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Rex.
Yeah.
So he's out. We're about to talk to North Korea in a summit. Things are dicey. Possibly a trap. A political trap. What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. You were saying those things are related in some way, yeah?
Well, Trump, one of his reasons for firing Tillerson was that he didn't want to redo the Iran deal.
Right.
Which is like one of the few things Obama did where you can say, like, yeah, that was just good. That was the best possible outcome.
And for people who don't know, the Iran deal, I mean, I know what it is, but...
nukes and less of
denuclearization of Iran.
You get these nukes and you have less of the nukes over time.
Which is a big deal. It's a big deal. Yeah. It's a gradual divestment of nuclear capabilities.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
And Trump wants to scrap it and do a new thing just because...
It's him?
It's him and it's Obama. And he wants to reverse everything Obama did.
Right.
And then Tillerson was like, this is a legally binding thing and this is going to be a huge headache.
Yeah.
If we try to fucking do this. But now, I don't know, it seems like all of a sudden Trump is down to chat with
diplomacy.
With diplomacy, yeah. And Tillerson has been gutting the State Department of diplomats, which is a big problem if we want to...
Wait, Tillerson's been doing it or Trump?
Tillerson probably... I mean, with the Trump, I don't think cares one way or the other, but...
Okay, why is Tillerson gutting diplomacy?
I mean, I'm not sure why, but I think like it goes back to the ideology of like I mean, that's what they call it, hard power or soft power.
Right. Carrot or stick.
Yeah.
What do we need diplomats for if I got a big nuke?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, this is scary.
Yeah. Dude, Trump is so funny because, like, he doesn't understand the Middle East at all, clearly, and, like, just sort of picks random people from time to time to go, like, like when he was running for president, he was, he was, like, yelling. He was making fun of fucking Jeb Bush a lot.
Yeah.
Just being like, you guys fucking,
sleepy Jeb.
9/11 happened like while your fucking brother was president.
That was awesome.
It was funny.
Wasn't it though? So great.
It was funny as shit. And but what he's doing is effectively like, I mean, he was like making fun of like the Saudis on some level, and then when he becomes president, he's just like dancing around with a sword,
touching
and shit.
the glowing orb and shit with them.
Fucking loves that shit. And
it turns out though it wasn't an orb; it was actually a charging Samsung Galaxy. He's back.
Yeah,
baby.
Yeah.
He's back.
Oh god, that's so fucking fun to do.
I know. It's my favorite thing now.
You just never see it coming.
I know. But he's playing nice with the Saudis and shit. And
yeah. He did the same thing with like apparently when he was on the campaign trail, he was he just made some weird statement one night, just fucking harebrained, not knowing what he was talking about, where he was like the Kurds are the people who are formed the PKK, the YPJ, and the YPG, which are the people fighting ISIS and like forming a anarcho-crazy democratic and federalist like socialist state almost in Rojava. I keep saying it like a fucking Mexican, but
because half of you is.
I know,
it's okay.
But it's Rojava. Okay, anyway, but then, like, as soon as he got elected...
Rojava. Oh, Rofifi.
Rojava. Okay. So he turned around right after he got elected and suddenly was, like, really pro-Turkey, which is their enemy, as we discussed or whatever. So, like, he's just, like, unpredictable and doesn't have any...
well, he's a people pleaser. Like, he will say anything to the person in front of him that makes him look like the best guy possible.
Well, it's also like the people with the most power are the ones that are going to successfully buddy up to him.
Yeah, of
so,
course.
like, to have this weird populist message, obviously, was really backwards because, everyone who is in power is now, like, in his cabinet or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Is there anything else interesting about Tillerson?
Exxon. His name is Rex. That's weird.
All right, he's fucking done.
Shout out to you. Good luck. I hope you enjoy your speech tour.
I mean, the thing about what I believe he wanted to do in terms of like capability in response to like a nuclear attack from a nation like North Korea is if we are on the receiving end of that threat, like we saw in Hawaii a few months ago.
Oh, yeah,
it would be impossible to distinguish the actual phenomenon of the nukes coming in, it'd be impossible to distinguish that from someone charging a Samsung.
Oh shit!
Oh my God.
Anders Lee sold it. Oh man, you can sell nightmares to a dreamer. God damn it, that was good.
I believe that you were going.
Well, I'm
Damn
not. I'm no ice. You know.
Yeah.
Anders Lee is back.
I get my sushi at 7-Eleven. That's another one of his jokes. Something else that happened this week is Martin Shkreli got sentenced
Rotten
to
Skrell.
7 years in jail. I'm gonna pause.
This is just a week.
I'm gonna pause real quick while I pull up this this tweet thread because it was really good. So this is a tweet thread by someone named Ali Conti, who was in, I guess, the courtroom while this is happening. So said, Shkreli is crying at his sentencing right now. And then the next tweet's a quote that says, "There's no conspiracy to take down Martin Shkreli. I took down Martin Shkreli with my disgraceful actions." I guess that was him saying that, Martin. LMAO, the judge is talking about Lauren Duca, which is like just a rando Twitter journalist. Like somehow, this shit is so funny when every once in a while, like national news just sort of vaguely graces like Nick Mullen or something like that. Judge is talking about Lauren Duca.
It just shows that reality is a simulation.
Also earlier, Shkreli's own lawyer mentioned wanting to punch him in the face. So there's that. And then Martin Shkreli was just sentenced to 7 years in prison. So that was pretty funny, like, while it happened. And, like, that was, a fun day on Twitter. Ali Conti's a vice senior staff writer, by the way. Okay. But the thing that, like, got lost in the news a little bit about Shkreli, I think, is that he didn't go to jail for that, like, price gouging shit.
Nope.
Went to jail for defrauding his investors.
Security frauds.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is a pretty good example of how that, the only way he was going to go to jail was for fucking over rich people, not fucking over poor people, which is
off.
Yeah.
He didn't get made off.
Yeah.
Get burned.
He
get burned. He's gonna rot in Shkrel.
like this isn't really a victory,
It's not.
He didn't get punished for the thing that everyone hates him for.
Right.
And like also the thing that everyone hates him for is not like he's a pretty egregious person and like it's a pretty bad example of it. And he's just a dick.
Yeah.
But like that's
He's
like
a troll.
not uncommon in pharmaceuticals altogether.
No, all pharmaceutical all major corrupt pharmaceutical companies do it. They acquire other pharmaceutical companies, gouge out the prices, and then fucking it's like flipping a house. You just turn it and burn it. That's Pfizer. Everybody does that.
Yeah.
He's just the face of the annoying douche that we're gonna take him down. Like,
Yeah, and if he was less of a douche, then we wouldn't know his name.
If he was
if he was just some boring guy.
Right.
I mean, and he is boring, but like if he was nebbish and sort of
if he was a real bean
clown.
counter.
No, he's a real hateable person. He looks like a dick.
Yeah.
He also looks like Brandon Wardell.
Before the pills.
Like evil Brandon Wardell.
Yeah.
Apparently this journalist Ali Conti also listened to the Wu-Tang album with him right before he went to prison. So that's pretty funny.
Oh shit! Was she the one who interviewed him for the Vice thing that they did?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I can't look it up right now.
All right, no, but anyways, like I don't know if you saw that. It was like a Vice like day in the life with him. He's a troll. He's like a douchey. Like I'm just gonna show the weaknesses and the vulnerabilities of society by being the villain. Like that's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
He's like Milo.
Yeah, he's very much an angry nerd.
Yeah. I just want to give him like a hug. Be like, hey man, it's all right, dog.
Speaking of Milo, Richard Spencer came out today and said that his rallies aren't fun anymore, and that he had to cancel one because of the dreaded Antifa.
They're not being policed properly.
Yeah, they're not being policed properly. Yeah. He was just trying to engage with the community in these campuses, and he fucking canceled his tour. And his tweet is so good because it's like it starts off exactly like every comic I know whose tour didn't go as planned or whatever. It's like the tour was supposed to be about connecting with people, and this thing happened and they didn't do this and yada yada yada. But like essentially he was just he's just bitching about his fucking show not going well. But it's really funny because he's like, we've had this dumb conversation about Antifa since we fucking started this podcast. I mean, that's like why I started talking about a lot of this shit. And the thing about it is that it clearly is fucking working, because like he's just publicly explaining that he's like bummed out and doesn't want to do this shit anymore, which was the whole point, dude.
Yeah, man.
And like, if he's gonna come out and say that he was trying to, he was trying to engage with the community, but these Antifa people showed up. Well, the people that were throwing shit at you are in the community, dude. That you engaged with them.
You showed up to their house. They're gonna tell you to get the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, that was the fucking engagement, right? And like, he can make this point all he wants about the police and like, oh, the police aren't policing them enough. But I mean, like, the police have showed themselves by and large to be in the interest of protecting like him.
Yeah.
And totally
They're
against this shit.
Right. The worst they can do to the alt-right is to just not do anything, like we saw in Charlottesville.
Yeah.
They'll stand, like, they'll just let people go at it and fight each other, or they'll just, like, gang up on the left. They're not going to actually try to take down fucking, his gang.
Or they're looking out for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're part of the fucking Nazis,
Right,
like,
right.
in
Right. I mean, they're
Minneapolis,
like
it's
fully
insane.
infiltrated with
Yeah.
like KKK members and shit like that. So like the argument that people kind of give against Antifa a lot of the times is like very much based on the idea of the police being this like medium, like unbiased
Mediator.
like
Yeah,
and
right.
it's like so clearly not the situation. That's why there needs to be sort of collective action, because like if the police aren't fair, which is this myth that we have about them, then like some shit's got to get done, because they're going to protect fucking people shooting at minorities and shit like that.
People driving cars into crowds.
But yeah, he's fucking toast, so that's pretty funny.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
The funniest part of that story to me is just that like he didn't get like killed, he didn't get like really beaten up that bad or anything. He didn't get like his tour bus fucking taken apart. He just got bummed out.
He got bummed out.
Quick, 'cause he got sad.
Wasn't it the last line? Just like, I think we need to find another way to communicate. Like that. It's like, fuck you, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Learn how to bomb.
Really? Yeah.
Learn
dude,
how to bomb.
Take the L, dude.
Take the L. Fucking what's that Twitter dude? Was it Owen Benjamin? He's like lost almost everything and is still digging his heels into basically just tweeting the N-word whenever he wants. Like
a friend of mine, or a comic I know, rather. I don't know if I know this guy personally, but I just know him from the scene or whatever. But a comic from Austin is opening for Owen Benjamin like now-ish in Houston. He's a black guy.
Oh, sure.
I don't think he knows like what this dude's gonna be like. But I've heard all these people, because I guess Owen Benjamin's in Texas right now, just like they've been hearing like clips of his sets, and they're just like, yeah, it's just a white guy just throwing out just gratuitous N-bombs, like thinking he's like Louis C.K., which honestly, when Louis did that, also kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
But apparently it's real fucking bad, man.
Yeah, man, he's really digging in his heels. Something a lot of people don't know about him, definitely abusing Adderall. Definitely probably having like meth.
Like the end of Goodfellas.
Yeah,
like helicopters chasing him.
100%, man. And like a lot of people just don't know that. Like self-admitted, by the way. I'm not just talking out of my ass. You can look this up. He like takes Adderall to like learn how to play piano and shit. he consumes books on Adderall. Like I've been on the deep end of an Adderall binge. Like I know that you start seeing and hearing shit and you start going it's meth induced.
I can't take more than one. Like,
yeah,
in a row.
I can't.
Like that shit's intense.
It's intense. And so like a lot of people don't know that. So dude, you're just watching somebody with undiagnosed drug problem just fucking losing their mind publicly on Twitter. That's what we're watching.
Well, I think Twitter itself kind of doesn't help, just the overstimulation of being able to talk to that many people at the same time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
it sucks. Like I definitely like at some point would like to see a lot of these fucking people who I fuck with on here like get help, you know?
Yeah, man. That's why I can't watch America's Next Top Model. I just get so depressed for them. I want to be their dad. I'd be like, listen, you're beautiful on the inside and the outside. Like, I can't watch shit like that. I get real sensitive to watching people fucking lose their mind. At the same time, just stop saying the N-word, man. Just fucking cut it out for a second.
Yeah. One more thing on this whole like anti-fuck kick. I know I talk about this ad nauseum or whatever, but there's a journalist who we follow each other on Twitter, and I don't know her very well or whatever, but I've been thinking about this stuff a lot because this conversation is like happening currently in American society. Like, is it this way? Is it freedom of speech or whatever? And, you know, like, there's certainly ways I feel about it or whatever, but sometimes I sort of doubt a little bit because the concept of anti-fascism ranges all the way from, like, the Spanish Civil War, like something that seriously, all the way back over to some dickhead at a concert who's like, I'm gonna punch a Nazi, you know, like, like, there's there's people that are just ding-dongs that think that they're part of this, that are kind of posers, the same way there are, like, annoying, you know, rose emoji, like, you just figured out the shit yesterday sort of people, and, like, every faction, right?
You mean money's not divided evenly?
Yeah, but, you know, I was kind of thinking about this stuff, and I was like, well, you know, there's a big question mark of, like, how this stuff works in the new world with all this technology and stuff, because, like, you know, if you read the Anti-Fascist Handbook, it tells you the story of it coming up from, like, you know, World War II and into like a world where the technology is different, so the tactics have to change because you have to understand why you're doing what you're doing or whatever.
Right.
And so I kind of wondered about like arguing with people online ad nauseum, but I had a really great thing happen the other day, which is this journalist I know shared one of those fucking like obviously like put together like maybe fake, maybe not fake, maybe just like specifically sought out.
Oh,
like,
the I'm right.com.
Yeah.
Article.
Like,
yeah.
Of a bunch of people like in black hoodies and shit that like disrupted some college dorm or some college
rally or speech
classroom or whatever,
okay.
and we're like shit, whatever. And you know, I looked at it and I looked up the fucking Snopes and all this shit. And I was like, oh, this is like from fucking 10 years ago in like Europe or whatever. And it was like not necessarily somebody affiliated with any like. It's just not necessarily the thing that you're talking about. Like this isn't an extension of Charlottesville.
Right.
And so I just went like, "Hey, this is fake," and then she just took it down, and now we're friends. Like it was just,
really?
I was like, "Oh, cool!" Like, you know, we just like tweeted each other and shit, and I was like, "Oh, this can happen." I'm not saying it's gonna happen all the time,
no,
but you know, you can, as a responsible person in the fucking internet soup, like reasonably reach out to people and get them to sort of see what you're saying about stuff. And like if they're like this person probably didn't give that much of a shit to begin with,
right,
they won't go full tilt into that Alex Jones weird conspiracy world that shit comes from. They'll just go like, oh, okay, and then just fucking take it down.
Take this down. Well, you know, that means that person has journalistic integrity, which is a fucking rare resource nowadays.
Pretty cool, right?
Which is kind of cool, man.
Yeah,
kind of cool. We need that.
Is there anything else you guys want to get to? We're almost at an hour.
I had everything I wanted to talk about.
What about you, man?
What about you, Anders? We good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like your earring.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm gonna wrap up. I think that was pretty good for the week. I mean, how funny can we be about Louis Farrakhan right now? I don't really know what to say about that shit.
Oh man, I got nothing.
But if you're listening and you are one of our Patreon subscribers, I'd like to say thank you.
Thank you
we're
so
slowly
much.
collecting a little army of people that are helping fund the show here. I just moved the podcast studio back into my apartment, and then we're setting up a little booth and stuff, and it's all going to come, you know, in service of this show. I'm very excited. I'm also going to be able to put out a lot more content now that this stuff is like sort of at home. So look out for, I'm going to start doing bonus content and also regular content and just like little history fucking dealies. I've been reading a lot about Rojava and stuff. I'm pretty excited to put that together. But if you listen to the show and you're a Patreon subscriber, I just want to let you guys know that when I set up the Patreon, I made a mistake. I didn't realize that I set it up to charge you per bonus creation, right? So per bonus episode, you were getting charged. I switched it to a monthly thing in fairness because I didn't want to make like 4 bonus episodes in a row and then charge you 4 times. but you will be getting charged once a month as a re-up thing. However, we should be putting out enough content where that's like a better deal, kind of.
Yeah.
Like you'll be getting like multiple free episodes a month for that $5 or whatever you put in. So if that sounds cool, let me know. If it doesn't, like, tweet at me and I'll fix it, and I'll totally set up some other way for you guys to get all this stuff. But I very much appreciate all you guys subscribing, donating, reaching out, sending me emails and shit like that. It's really fucking cool. It feels good to be able to do all this shit in these dire times.
And thank you, dog. We do this because we want to talk with you when we want you to hear what we got to say. So
yeah,
respect to you.
Yeah. Solidarity.
Hell yeah. God damn it, I was trying to do another Samsung Galaxy S joke. I couldn't figure out a way to get it in there.
Honestly, I had one in the chamber the whole time. I've been trying to find a spot to stick it in. I can't plug it in, man. I can't plug in this bit.
Yeah, fuck it.
All right.
All right, thanks. That's been Pod Damn America.
Shout outs.
Yeah. Also, I guess I'll do plugs. Just it's really close. My name is Jake Flores. I'm at Feral Jokes on the Internet. I will be in Minneapolis on the 23rd and 24th of this month. So that's next Friday and Saturday at the Comedy Corner Underground with Raghav Mehta from the show. We're also going to go, actually, that Thursday to Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Look all this stuff. Just look up my Twitter if you want to check the dates for all this stuff. And listen to Mr. Cleo, my other podcast. And whatever. Tomorrow night, I'll put this out today. Tomorrow night, Carlos, I'm on your show.
No, the 21st.
I'm sorry, 21st.
Yeah, so follow me at Ceviche Poppy. That is at Ceviche Poppy across all social media. And then if you're in Brooklyn, come out to an evening of comedy with Carlos and friends. That's on Wednesday, March 21st, 8 p.m. at Precious Metal Bar. Is there a scheduling conflict, Mike?
No, that's good. That actually helped me out a little bit.
Perfect, dog. Don't worry about it. And come on out. It's Andrews Lee, come on out too.
Anders Lee will be there.
Anders Lee will be there too. It's going to be a Pod Damn America also sponsored show, I suppose. So
hell yeah.
Let's fucking do it, baby.
Boom. At Anders Lee here on Twitter, Dursley1, Instagram. Come to my solo show, Dummy. It's going to be a Vital Joint here in Brooklyn, March 29th and 30th. Then we got another paid protest hitting you that same weekend on the 31st at Verso Books at 7. Anders Lee out.
Oh man,
yes!
I'm fucking loving Anders this week.
Oh,
He's doing parkour all around the apartment and shit. All right.